So the last time we did a Q&A, it was a lot different, the house. We did not have a roof.
It was also warm.
We had the fireplace.
That's all we had.
Yeah, that was in the background, but there was nothing else here. And now, what is it, like 6 months later, 4 months, 5 months later?
Yeah.
We have a roof, kinda.
We have a house.
We have a structure.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do a Q&A this week.
Because you guys had a lot of questions.
Yeah, that we never answer in the videos. We typically answer them all in our Patreon. We do like a weekly podcast there. And we go very nitty gritty there, but we never hear. So I like to do these Q&As just to give a chance to everyone to ask questions and give updates on the project. Because there's a lot of behind the scenes that we never share.
Shall we get started?
Yes. First question. How many hours do you spend working directly on the house per day/week?
I think per week we do like 40 hours a week.
Yeah, like we try to get here as much as we can in the weekends. This is really where we do like the heavy load and we really just are able to go at it. But yeah, it's just every minute we can come here and work, we're here. And roughly, it's probably about 40 hours a week we're here.
If not more, because I guess, there's 40 hours a week that we're here, but then there's also every single minute that we're at home, we just plan for this too.
Yeah, which is not included. I know my biggest week so far, we're working on the house and editing videos and just doing all the business stuff. I think, was it 90?
I think it was like 90, 95 hours in 1 week.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest week, but usually it's not 90. Usually it's closer to probably 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah, for you.
For me, on working just house stuff, video stuff, anything that's correlated to the house and kind of my job as a content creator. Does it take up a lot of time to set up and film when you could be building? Like it does slow us down because I am moving the camera. Every time you see a new angle in my video, I physically went to my tripod, I moved the camera, I turned it on, walked back to the scene, then we did something, then I left, then I went there, then I moved it again, and then like when I'm cutting wood and you see all these different angles, I had to like stop mid-cut and then go move the camera and then move it, because I have this vision when I'm filming this. I'm like, oh, this could be really cool if I do this angle, or I want to show this, I want to show this. Oh, maybe I'll edit like this, and then that's kind of what I'm doing as we're building. So that is why it's so nice that you focus on the building.
Yes.
And I'm just focusing on like the storytelling of sharing this, reno process, because I don't know if I could do the building, planning stages and doing the filming, because I feel like I'm full-time like filming when I'm here, and I'm just helping and aiding you while we're here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But overall, I'd say it's not terribly distracting.
No, I feel like I got it pretty efficient.
It's really, really good, yeah.
Like, I would say maybe it slows us down when I'm like, okay, let's just chit-chat about the process here, and like, okay, yeah, a few minutes here, a few minutes there.
What's the plan? Like, what are we gonna film next? Yeah.
That type of thing, but it's not like, maybe half hour to an hour a day, maybe we lose because of the filming. How much time do you dedicate to editing your videos? This one, I wanna say like 8 to 12 hours.
I could say 0 for myself. Jenna does all the editing, so.
But usually about like 8 to 12 hours it takes me to edit a video. Now for timeline, when will the house be done by?
Oh, I feel like our timeline has changed so much.
Okay, it did, but not really. At the beginning, we had the goal that we wanted to be in, not fully done, January 2026.
Yes.
We have been delayed months because we do not have the roof on like we wanted the roof on, like I mentioned before, like September, October windows in. But I still think we could be next winter. We could move in unfinished.
Yeah, like I think the goal is by March to have the windows and the roof on fully. 2025. And then once that's done, like we'll have a lot of trades come in. Like I'm not doing the plumbing myself, we're not doing the HVAC ourselves. It's just the electrical that we have to do ourselves, which is fine. And then insulation that we do ourselves. But then after that, like everything really comes together super quick. It's none of this very like tedious, laborious metal work and then putting all the trusses up and coordinating with that. It's a lot easier next year, and it's a lot more
fun
decoration and fun as opposed to the demo content and the builder channel.
What was the biggest win in the reconstruction process so far?
I think I really like the wood. I did not realize that the quality of wood has gotten this bad. And it's so nice to work with the old growth wood. After 60, 70 years, it is still like dead straight. It cuts beautifully. There's no rot, there's no mold on it. it's actually a dream and like a treat to work with.
Yeah,
that is my favorite part by far.
It's way better than the new wood we bought in. Like, we were very nitpicky.
Yeah.
Where all the wood that we put up for the walls, which you can't really see here, but we actually went to the lumberyard and we handpicked all of them because a lot of them were very wavy or bendy or had huge holes in them or were actually moldy. So we handpicked everything and brought it here on our truck. We did not just order a huge
like a massive
pallet
lift of them. Yeah.
No, we didn't do that because they were horrendous. So it was a lot of time and love that went into picking the wood for our house, and it's still, not the same.
Still not the greatest,
Not the same. I think the biggest win for me is that we kept the fireplace and we weren't told to get rid of it, because we were told a lot of bad news where we were like, you have to get rid of this, you have to get rid of that, you have to get rid of this. And a lot of things that I wanted to keep from the beginning unfortunately got tossed because of either the
condition of the house.
Yeah, and I was worried. I was like, what if they tell me I have to knock down the fireplace? But no one has told us. It is here, it is built in, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah.
How has the project impacted your relationship?
Do you want to go first?
We have never renovated together. We also weren't together very long before we started this project. And I think it was, I don't know, but surprising. Like, I feel like I expected it to go like this, but like hindsight, I'm like also so grateful for how well we worked together, because that could have like just destroyed us if we just didn't work well together.
Oh man.
Like, we've just found our rhythm where it's kind of like, you're in charge of, building all the planning for this. I'm in charge of this. And anytime we've stepped over that line, that is when we get conflict. And we just found those boundaries that it's like, you do this, you do it amazingly, and I do this, I do it great, and everything is so smooth while we keep it like that. I also think we're very easygoing people to work with, that we're just like, we're stubborn, but we're not that stubborn.
I think it's very important not to have like the my way or the highway mentality.
Oh gosh, no.
Because with that, it's like pretty tough. Because there's a lot of decisions to be made. There's a lot of compromises, a lot of things that just come up, and it's very important to be open to like suggestions and new things, especially when they're out of your control.
Do you argue about planning the house? Love your positive attitude regardless of the weather.
I feel like no. We each have like our things that we want. A lot of the times they're very similar, so it's fine.
Yeah, like when we're planning all like the design stages now, it's kind of, I feel like we take it where it's like, this is more important to you, so I'm gonna let you have it how you want it, as long as it's not like outrageous, that I'm like, you enjoy this more, you choose. And I think same for me. It's like something I'm like, this is what I really love, I would love to do. Then he kind of is like, okay, then let's go for what you really love.
Yeah.
So I think we just find that balance, be like, who is it more important to? And then we'll go with that person, even though it's like, it's like not that big of a deal. Like a lot of the design is like pretty similar to what we want. Like
an example, I think, is the windows. In like the kitchen, we have this big glass wall, and we were deciding between like I think accordion style
where I wanted
doors,
accordion,
and then I just
slider.
wanted like just two big sliders because that's how the house originally was. And that's something that you just kind of like let me roll with because it mattered a lot to me. I really wanted those sliders.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like in the bathroom, you wanted to go kind of very mid-century, and like that was your dream and your vision, and that's fine with me too.
Yeah, where I was like,
just
okay, it's not the biggest thing. I like those, but okay, you might be right that these might be better, so we'll just go with that type of thing. And it's just kind of letting go and not being so hung up on details, because at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Like at the end of the day, this is a house.
Yes.
It's just a house. Do you have a hard time finding subcontractors that are willing to have their work recorded for YouTube?
I think there's two parts to that. Part one is it's so hard to find a contractor.
First of all, can we find a subcontractor? That answer is like, not really.
It's so hard.
No one wants to respond to us.
I know.
I think that's everywhere. It's not just us. But yeah, it's really hard to get contractors to come and work on things. And it's not like we're asking, hey, come do this for free. It's like, we don't even say anything about the channel. We don't even say anything about the channel at all. We just say, this is the project, we want this, blah, blah, blah. What is the quote? Like, we just go that way, and we have had such a tough time trying to just get people to respond.
It's wild.
Yeah, so it's like it never comes up the YouTube channel. We actually never mention it, so when we reach out, they usually mention it. They'll be like, I recognize this, or my girlfriend, my wife, or someone told me about this. And that's usually how they find out. We never really mention it to anyone.
No, it's very different than our summer Q&A. Yeah. Like freezing. Can't feel my hands.
I'm sorry. Do you plan to set up home in a small portion of the house, then build around it, or are you waiting to move in until it's completely done?
We have 3 main requirements: a washroom, a kitchen, and 1 finished bedroom.
Yeah, with like flooring.
With flooring,
Just like flooring on the ground. Like it's really pretty minimal. So the first thing, we're gonna be doing is probably the kitchen. Is that gonna be a bathroom? The flooring.
Probably the bathroom always comes first.
Yeah, I'll do a bathroom first.
Yes.
And then probably flooring, and then the kitchen.
Yes.
And then the rest of the house.
Yes.
And hopefully we can get that done so we can live here. I don't really want to be on like a cooking stove or.
No, thank you.
Want like a functional bathroom with a door. So those are just like our requirements, and then everything else can be unfinished. Like I don't care at the walls. Like there's no panel in the walls. Like
That's fine. Yeah.
It's just like raw drywall. That's okay to me. It's just will be really nice to be here, and then we can kind of work in small increments and just whenever, and have the dogs here. Just because I hate having them at home, and then I go back during the day to go let them out, and and I think they'll enjoy the space because this is huge. I think they'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, they like really upgraded.
They have a yard too, where I can just let them out and they can suntan in the summer.
Yeah.
Are you consulting with someone about steps to build the house? What is the process? This is my consultant.
Yeah.
This is the guy that plans everything for the house, how to build it. We just have our engineer, which gave us the actual plans for structural, what we need to do with all of this. So kind of plans, but it's not like step 1, step 2. It's just like
this is the final thing that you should have.
The floor plan, yeah.
Yeah, this is like the floor plan with all the structural elements. If you have this, then you will pass the inspection. If you don't have this, then it's no.
Yeah.
And then same with our like envelope person and the geotechnical person too. It's all like you just need to have this, and then you'll be good. And it's kind of like my job to figure out the order in which things should be done. A lot of the time it is like kind of straightforward too. Like before you can put the trusses on, well, you need something to put the trusses on. So you get like the metal first. And like before you need the metal, well, what do you need before the metal? The metal sits on like the foundation. So you got to make sure your foundation's good. So that's when you talk to the geotechnical. You just like make a little flow chart for yourself. And it kind of just all comes together.
I feel like you oversimplify it every single time that he says this to people. We're like, it's easy, it's not that hard. I'm like, no, it's hard. What are your jobs / education that allow you to build a house yourselves? I don't have a background in building. I just DIY, and I sewed clothes and I knit stuff before. I have a degree in art. It was specifically in graphic design. That is my background. So design wasn't even in filmmaking or anything to make videos. I just kind of learned that on my own. So I personally don't have any expertise when it comes to building, other than I was an athlete and I'm fit, so I can lift heavier things and
very heavy things
and demo easily. But I didn't get help a lot.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing.
Yeah, I have a engineering background. I can't say I'm an engineer, but I have an engineering background. I've never formally built before, especially renovated. So a lot of this is also like very new to me, kind of figuring out the processes of things, and I've definitely made some mistakes along the way, but.
Engineering degree.
Engineering degree, yeah. Electrical engineering, not like mechanical or geotechnical engineering or whatnot. So when it comes to like the electrical work, that'll be good.
It'll be spotless. It'll be so good.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 most important tools you have bought?
Sawzall, nail gun, chop saw.
Mine were almost the same. I was gonna say Sawzall. Because it was a reno.
Yep.
Chop saw. Hammer.
Oh, that is very important too.
Because we use it every day.
Every day.
For design now, what color cabinets are you envisioning? They're very similar to, if you remember the old paneling in the house, that is what we're doing for the paneling and the kitchen cabinets and all of our closets.
Yeah, we just like that very organic looking wood.
It's a very mid-century color.
Very mid-century, like a nice neutral brown, not too red, not too yellow, easy on the eyes, nice clear grain on it, so.
Very timeless.
Very timeless. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the majority of our house. It's gonna have a lot of wood in it. I think for the flooring, we've decided tile.
We've like 90% decided on tile.
Yeah, we're still flipping back and forth between engineered hardwood and tile, but we're thinking tile.
I think the renders that we make, I think one of the renders we should have hardwood in the renders, and then the other ones we should have tile.
Yeah.
And
That will decide it. We're kind of like this. I think this will look good, but I need to like see it. So that's why we're working on all of our renderings now. Are your ceilings low, or is it just the angle of the camera?
Good question.
This one's not. This one is 12 feet?
11 feet.
11 feet tall here. That's going to be the kitchen dining room. But the rest of the house, it is 8 feet for here. And then just downstairs, it is lower. It's 7.5 feet.
7 feet, 6 inches, yeah.
Yeah, 7.5 feet. So unfortunately, you know, we don't have like those 9-foot ceilings that all like the new houses have. It's an older home. We didn't change it in our permit that we were going to raise anything. That would have been probably not allowed for a reno.
Probably not allowed, yeah, because we were definitely already pushing like what is allowed for a reno.
Yeah.
So there's only a certain amount of stuff that you can change.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, they're like, okay, you're really kind of just tearing down the whole home here.
Yeah.
You want to raise the ceilings by a foot, which means you need to like add a foot to all your exterior walls. And at that point, they're like, okay, guys.
Excuse the boring technical question, but what is the plan for insulation and or vapor barrier in the basement floor? What is under the joists?
I think it's a very good question, but I think this is very much, like a Patreon question where I'll go over it in detail there. But the gist of it is I chose spray foam for our crawl space because we can't insulate under the rock. Like usually homes have insulation under the slab. We can't have that, so we're going to insulate on top of the rock and then put our plywood on top of the floor joists.
Yeah, we also have to put plumbing, HVAC through it, so there's a lot of things we have to get done before we can like seal it. Now that you're seeing the layout come together in real life, do you have any regrets about it? I think when we were doing the layout, I was so nervous when we were putting the walls up because I was really fearful that we were going to regret it because it's so different designing it on a piece of paper and then seeing it in real life. So luckily, seeing the space now that it's built, I'm really happy with it. I don't have any regrets, but that was something I was so nervous because if we did have like, you know, a space that we did not like, we cannot change it. It would have to be a new permit that we submit to the city or also our engineer because everything's designed for this floor plan. We can't really move any walls. We're to a degree. We can move some of them a little bit, but it was designed, this house, the roof, everything for this layout. So
yeah,
I'm just very happy that I like it and you like it.
Yeah, I think it's a good layout considering the shape of the house and how we kept all of the existing foundations, so.
Yeah, the whole exterior shape of the house stayed the same, so we just moved some walls interior-wise.
Yeah.
It was nothing like crazy that we really changed. Future plans, will you do this again, gut down the house and rebuild it?
I personally like it. It's kind of fun. I don't know about you though. How do you feel about it?
I would, the thing is, I would say I would renovate again just because I think it's not gonna be that bad, but who knows, maybe a year from now I'll be like, I never wanna do this ever again. But I don't know if I want to do another project this big. This is a pretty big one, having to take it down to nothing. Like we practically built a house, and I don't know if the building process of building a house is my favorite. I definitely think the reno and the interior stuff is going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
So I personally, I don't think I would want to do a project this big again. Not that I regret it. I think this is probably the best thing that's probably ever happened to us.
Yes.
But I don't think I would want to do it again.
You guys should let us know in the comments if we should do another project like this. You should convince
I would
Jenna.
love to do I could do another big gut job reno, but I don't want to build another roof and build foundation and do walls and that type of stuff. I could take it down to the studs again, no problem. It's the building portion of it that I'm like, I could do without.
That's fair.
With all the money you're putting into renovating, why not just buy a house?
Very good question.
Theoretically, we could.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, you definitely could. But for where we live here and the home we're going to get in the end of the day, we could not buy. So I think that's the thing. It's like, yes, we could buy a home, you know, and get like, you know, a decent house, you know, nothing wrong with it. But I think we just wanted something different, and just a really, like, this opportunity came. Like, we wouldn't be able to get a property with the view of the water.
Yeah.
Like, that would not have been in budget. So it was kind of like, okay, we can work really hard and have this incredible home and also have it exactly how we want it.
Yes.
Or we can go get, you know, a house. Will you do all finishes DIY, kitchen, cabinets, MEP, flooring, etc.?
Yeah.
No, yes and no. Like, we're not DIYing, we're not building the kitchen from scratch, like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not.
It's going to be like an IKEA assembly style where you
Yeah.
like order, you still order the kitchen. It still comes like flat packed. It's just plywood instead of like the MDF from IKEA. We're still going to be assembling it by hand.
Yeah, we're going to be putting it together, we're building everything, but we are ordering like custom cabinetry and custom everything for the house, and then we're putting it together. We're kind of just getting it in like a big container, and that's how we're getting it. We're not DIY building anything. Where some people have, I've seen videos of, and these people are incredible, where I've seen people do garages and they build cabinets and they get the plywood. They do, it's insane, but we're not doing that. So is it your house, Nikki's house, or both? Both, right?
I think it's both, yeah.
It is both.
It's our house, yeah.
Yeah, we're in it together. It's not my house, and he's just the helper. It's or I'm not helping him with his house. Yeah, it's both of our houses.
It's our house.
How do you see this house in your future generations, kids, grandkids? We've talked about this.
I think we have.
I think like we understand that, you know, when we have kids, I don't think it really will get passed down, because you never know what your kids will want in their life. This is what we want. This is our dream, but you can't put on a house to your kids and be like, this is your dream. You're going to live here for the rest of your life. You're going to keep this for generation after generation. And like they have their own life.
For sure.
They got to do their own things. So like I wouldn't, you know, be mad, you know, after we're gone. They sell the house and they go do something with their life. Like I think that's like what it should be. Like, this is our dream.
Yes.
And although I think it'd be incredible if it was passed down, you know, generations and stuff, I just like don't have that expectation that it will. It's kind of like, this is what we did for us. You know, we'll have our life here, and this will be whatever we want to do with it.
Yes.
It's ours. But I think it's tough to put something on someone else, especially when a house is not easy to maintain. It's not cheap to maintain. It's a big financial obligation.
Yeah.
Which I think like some people forget. It's like, I think it's so cool if, you know, our kids valued the home like we value it, but
you never know.
You never know. Jenna, were you scared of power tools before this? It's funny that you say this, because I actually kind of was.
Were you?
Okay, in college and high school, I never liked going on the power tools. When I was like in shop class, you know, did woodworking, I didn't want to do the power tools. Like I was kind of scared of them. I was like, I just don't want to cut up a hand. Like there's mistakes that can be happening. And I was like, I just rather not deal with it. And yeah, I didn't like power tools. I had to learn all the power tools. So everything I use now, I learned while we did this house.
Really?
I don't think I used a chop saw before. You taught me how to use the chop saw.
Yeah, I think I did.
And now I use it hours at a time
Cutting
now.
lady over here, yeah.
Yeah, I cut everything for this house. And then the circular saw, the sawzall.
Everything.
I even used, I had a drill before, but it was like a cheap one. But now I have a nice drill. The nailing gun, I love the nailing gun. So
yeah,
you've
come a long way.
I was scared, but it's just you and I working on the house, and you can't be doing everything. Like it's something I just had to get over and just use. And yeah, I'm not scared of them at all. I'm like pretty confident with them.
There you go.
How's the budget going, considering you had to replace 90% of the house?
It definitely got exploded.
we have a budget. It's not gonna hit our target budget amount, but I feel like are we gonna be like 100%? I feel like 50% more.
I feel like 50% more.
We'll spend 50% more than we initially, our initial target.
But I feel like it's common for renos to always take longer and then go over budget. Like I've never heard of
like
renovation
if you know someone that did a renovation and they were quicker and under budget,
let me know.
I would love to talk to them because I've never heard of a story where people have gone under budget and faster. It's kind of like, oh yeah, you were 50%. And that's why we kind of stretch budgets. We're like, we will try for this, but if we do this, we're okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we were very conservative. But yeah, we definitely were, because the metal was something that we did not expect. Because that was something that we had to put in because of the design choice of keeping this balcony and our floor-to-ceiling windows. This had we put in. So we could have just said no and changed the design and saved a lot of money that way. But yeah, we decided that we wanted to keep these design elements and just the new engineering, everything that's different since the 60s. It was something that, yeah, we just had to unfortunately pay, and that's kind of what put us really over budget this year.
Wow.
You can hear Scissors and Gert.
The back. They were hanging out here all day yesterday while I was measuring.
Really?
Yeah, there were 7 of them.
I saw 6 the other day. There's another one.
Yeah.
They're all moving in.
I know.
That's cool.
They're all coming here in anticipation of Jack and Benson. They're new friends.
I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, it's Gert and Scissors. Look at them, they're together.
Wow. If you guys don't know who Gert and Scissors are, they're our neighborhood eagles.
Yeah. There's 2 that are always together. Sometimes they're the 3rd, and then you saw 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of eagles around here. Specifically the 2 that I always see. But that's all the questions we have for today. But if you want more in-depth stuff, especially about the building side of the house, where we go very nitty-gritty about like details of
building
materials,
envelope, structural materials,
everything, kind of more details of like behind the scenes of the videos each week. We have Patreon and we do like a weekly podcast there. And then we also do video updates all the time of showing progress before we even release them in the YouTube videos. So if you want more details, I'll have a link down below. But that's it.
See you guys later. Goodbye.